For a lot of the people that are dealing with adversity, dealing with a lot of struggles in their life, what I've always found, what I've always done with that is I use it as a way to grow, to train. I call it training. I call it training my emotions, training my mind, training my will, training my patience, training my ability to forgive. I call it training. When we look at it as that, training, you don't always perfect things in training. Half the time you fall flat on your face. I was one of the biggest training opportunities that I've had throughout my life was my relationships. And this previous relationship, I learned so much. I learned about how to forgive. I was able to accomplish how to forgive, how to be able to not judge, not perfect it, not by far, but just get to a point that was a really big difference for me, And that's why I talk so much about these things, because I'm personally experiencing how my life is different. I'm experiencing how it is when there's all this crazy stuff that's going on, but how am I able to go and just stay in this space of peace, like to stay in this calmness. This is something, take advantage of the struggles that you have. Look at it as opportunities to go ahead and grow. Like when people don't have struggles, when people don't have these adversities, they grow really, really slow. And a lot of times people become scared of what it is, the things that they need to let go. They become scared of it and they don't want to face it. And so they try to create environments, they try to surround themselves with people that are only awesome. And they can't seem to surround themselves with people that are not. And you win on both ends. Because when you surround yourself with people that are not awesome, you now have the opportunity to go ahead and grow. You have the opportunity to go ahead and train. You train how to be able to look at them in a loving way, even when they don't act loving towards you. You have the opportunity to go ahead and forgive them over and over and over again because they keep doing stuff that just ain't good. You now have the opportunity to go ahead and have patience because they tell you they're gonna change and they don't. You have the opportunity to go ahead and learn how to see the good in things. You have the opportunity to go and test your willpower because maybe you have to do more work. It's more draining for you. Now, I'm not saying you go ahead and create your life to where you surround yourself with people that aren't aligned with you. That's not what I'm saying. But when we're in these lives of struggles, when we are facing stuff, sometimes we can't change our environments with the snap of a finger. Sometimes it takes time. And every day that goes by, what do? And I say you can look at that as like an opportunity to grow. When we look at life like training, like I'm so grateful about all the years I've been training, because now when I look at life, everything is training. There is nothing for me that is not training. Whether or not I'm exercising, whether or not I'm living life, whether or not I'm washing the dishes, that's training. And if you're asking like, well, how do you train washing dishes? I'll tell you exactly what I do when I wash dishes, just on a side note. When I'm training on washing dishes, I train on number one, not being rushed. I try to take my time. Even if I'm going fast, I can be fast and not be rushed. That rush feeling, that anxious, nervous feeling when you're rushed, right? You can be fast, but you don't have to feel rushed. I focus on that, even if I'm washing fast or I'm going slow. I also focus on the smoothness. How controlled I can grab a cup. How controlled can I grab this pot. How controlled are my movements when I'm washing it. How fluid is my movements. I work on how to be graceful. I don't go and clang the dishes, drop it hard. I can put it down really fast and then put it down really quick. but in a very smooth, controlled way. So even training when I'm washing dishes, all opportunities, I look at life as a way to go ahead and train. Because if we keep training ourselves, and there's so many areas that we can grow and get better at, our life continuously improves. If you're training on yourself on an area that helps you with your business, you make more money. You bring more value to people. If you train yourself in an area that has to do with your love relationships, you have better relationships. You fall more in love. The person, your partner, loves you more and you can give them more love. If you train your part in a part that has to do with your personal self, how you spend time with your own self, your own habits, your own thoughts, then you train yourself on the ability to become happy. You train yourself because happiness comes from within, from ourselves. But if we don't know how to go ahead and become happy with just ourselves and we need all this other stuff, then we're always gonna be dependent on all this stuff. So we train for it. Nobody's born knowing how to do it. And simply just listening to this video and going, this is how you do it, that's not enough. That's just a little random suggestion to go ahead, hey, you can work on that. But the real work is the work that you put in on an everyday basis. Living your life and using life as training. If you use life as training, then, no matter what is happening, you're learning, you're growing, you're winning. You can't fail, you can't lose. If you do something and you succeed, you win. If you do something and you fail, you learn a lesson, you win. If you do something and you fail and you didn't learn the lesson that one time, and then the second time, and it keeps going, and then 10 times after, finally you learn the lesson, you still win. Did you lose 9 times? No, you didn't lose 9 times. Why? Here is why. Because certain lessons take 10 tries to go ahead and learn, while certain lessons take 1 try. And certain lessons take 1 week to learn, and certain lessons take 10 years to learn. You didn't fail. You didn't fail when you didn't learn it the first time. Every lesson in our life, every step of personal growth and self-mastery is different. And certain things take longer than others. Certain things take more try than others. And so therefore, when we started, sometimes, most of the time, if not, let me rephrase that, like all the time, we don't know how many steps it's gonna take. We don't know the length of period. And we don't need to know. Because all we actually need to know is the fact that we're gonna constantly train and we're constantly gonna do the best that we can to our ability to go ahead and master the things in our life. Because everybody wants to go ahead and have a good life. Everybody wants to go and get better. Nobody wants to have a shitty relationship where they argue and where they're jealous and they're fighting with their partners all the time. Nobody wants to get stuck not knowing how to go ahead and make more money and create financial abundance and wealth and security. Nobody wants to go ahead and sit alone in a room and not feel comfortable and feel like they can't be comfortable with themselves. They can't be comfortable in their head. Nobody wants to do that. So you gotta train, you gotta practice, And I think the biggest thing, if I had to go ahead and look at the one big takeaway of this video, it's just realizing that there is no such thing as failing. You're always gonna learn something, and that let go of the expectations of how you think something's supposed to come out. How you think it's supposed to, the way you're supposed to learn. Let go of how many tries you think it takes to go ahead and learn something. When you let go of that, now no matter if it takes 1 try or it takes 1,000 tries or more, but you're always moving forward. That 1,000 tries, it takes having to go ahead and do it 999 times. And then at the 1,000th time, you got it. But if somebody was to think that 1,000 tries was only gonna be accomplished in 50 tries, then they stop at 50. And they never actually accomplish that 1,000 try thing. And you know what? If something takes 1,000 tries to accomplish and you accomplished it, man, your life has changed big time. That ain't no little accomplishment, right? You learned some real shit in your life. You mastered a part of you that's gonna take your life to another level, man. So it's worth it. The stuff that you did one time and then you got it, cool. But it's not, those aren't the things that's gonna change. Those aren't things that are gonna make the huge differences. It's the stuff that takes more and more and more tries and more practices. Because when you get those things, not only do you accomplish that, you accomplish your ability your ability to master, your ability to go ahead and learn. You accomplish your ability to go and have persistence, you know, perseverance. That you accomplish. And that is powerful. Your ability to be able to learn, you know. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. See you.